Okay, good morning, you guys. I'm back. Welcome back to Morning Talks with Ro. I had to find a new spot. The parking lady came up while I was doing the chat. We have street cleaning on different sides of the street, depending on the morning it is, and I was on the wrong side of the street. So, I'm going to wait for you guys to come back in, and then we're going to jump into today's topic about keeping momentum in our lives, staying motivated. How do we do that? What could be a possible block to why we're not staying motivated or why we're not keeping momentum in our lives? So important, right? That's how we achieve our dreams. That's how we get to the goals that we have. So before I do that, good morning. Welcome back to the conversation. You said free water ice? I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Joseph. Good morning, Charles. Good morning. Welcome back to the conversation. If anybody wants to talk about anything in particular, I was also saying you can drop that in the chat as well. But today we're going to talk about keeping momentum, and maybe just from talking about it, it'll inspire you to put some more information, in here for us to toss about and see if we can stretch our perspective about life, be empowered together. Hey, Dorinia, congratulations on the start to you and your husband's new business. I saw that. You guys have a restaurant or something. Congratulations. Being an entrepreneur is not for the faint at heart. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of focus. It takes tenacity. I mean, congratulations for getting that off the ground. And here's to keeping the momentum. Speaking about momentum, right? Here's to keeping the momentum for the success of your business. Good stuff. Oh, you got a food trailer. That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, Jordan. Good morning. Okay, so since nobody's chiming in, we're going to talk about keeping momentum in our lives so that we can get to these things that we say we want. We can get to our goals and dreams. One of the first things that is important to do is to self-reflect. Why are you where you are currently? What decisions have you made that have you in the position you're in right now? Can you think about that? What choices have you made? What people are you surrounded with? Do they propel you towards your goal or don't they? What habits do you have? Do your habits propel you towards where you want to go or don't they? What mindset, what thoughts are you tossing around on a daily basis, on a moment-to-moment basis? What energy are you engaging in on a regular basis? Is it propelling you towards your goal or not? And are you being honest about that? What kind of energy are you putting in the world? What kind of conversations are you having with people? How are you contributing to what you're experiencing right now? The results that you have. This is so key to do self-reflection. Like, that's the first place to start, because self-responsibility is really synonymous with self-reflection. When you start taking responsibility for the choices that you made, for the mindset you're carrying around, for the behavior and patterns that you're in, that is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. Because now you're keeping it 100 with yourself. You're keeping it honest with yourself. And that's actually a skill. We're building skills for momentum in life, right? This is a skill to self-reflect. Do this on a regular basis. Check in with yourself. Take inventory. Because a lot of the times, if you take inventory, you're going to find out exactly what you need to do, or where you went wrong, or what you're doing right that keeps you on track or off track with your goals. Right? Welcome to the conversation, everybody. This is Morning Talks with Ro. Of course, I took some notes for us. So, oh, yes, great one. Within self-reflection, are you afraid to ask for feedback? Are you afraid of the answers you're going to get? I mean, I don't recommend that you go out and ask just any and everybody, because sometimes people, are they really even qualified to be speaking on whatever it is you're asking about? got to be careful where you get your feedback from. But if you know it's a person that you can respect what they're going to say, they have your best interest at heart, they're going to keep it honest with you, are you afraid to ask for that feedback? And then sometimes it's good to get it from people just kind of randomly, because then they don't have any attachment to you. And what you want to do is learn how to manage that by saying, okay, I'm going to see if there's something here valuable for me to take, and then throw out the rest. That takes practice, because sometimes, that's why we're afraid to get feedback. Somebody tells you something that you don't like, or that doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't make you feel good, you run from it, it makes you feel bad. But just remember that you can recover from that. Go ahead and get the value out of it. Get the jewel that may be tucked into it. And then remember that you can throw away the rest. Just because they said it doesn't mean it's true. But it could be really valuable to help you get some insight on where you are in life. Maybe some of the things that you could do to improve, right? Let's see. Is anybody saying anything? I see people are dropping in. Welcome to the conversation. Good topic. That's what I'm working on right now. Good advice, self-reflection. Absolutely, Dennis. Self-reflection is huge, because that, like I said, is synonymous with self-responsibility. And the second you start taking more responsibility for yourself, you have just put yourself in a power position. You are no longer pointing outside of yourself and waiting for someone or something else to change in order for your results to change. Wow. Right? Like, you get to choose. What are you doing? What decisions have you made? What choices have you made that are producing the results you're experiencing right now? How powerful is that? At least you keep the power with you. You don't have to wait for nothing to change outside of yourself. Your mindset changes. Your actions change. This is all coming from you. That is a power position. Self-reflection, huge skill in order to keep momentum in life. Let's see what else. What? Uh-oh, somebody got tears in here. What y'all crying for? Let's see. Visioning. We talked about that last week. Visualization. Did you guys catch last week's talk? Woo-hoo. Man, on fire. Good information in there. I shared a story about my friend and how we use how we're using visualization whether we know it or not. But are you using it in the positive or the negative? Use visualization to create. Live in your imagination. Live in your imagination. Every day, if I can, I'm living in my imagination for at least 20 minutes. At least 20 minutes. I'm playing a lot of my scenarios over and over and over again until they manifest. I'm stretching on them sometimes. I'm imagining what it would be like to be in that space. I'm hearing what people would say to me. I'm doing the best I can to get into the feeling state. So if it would be joy that I would be experiencing in that moment, I try to get to joy. If it would be gratitude I would be feeling in that moment, I try to get to gratitude. If it's enthusiasm and excitement in that moment, I try to generate the emotion of enthusiasm and excitement. The more that you can get in touch with the emotion that would be generated in that moment, that would be a part of that moment, the better for you to couple with your vision and create something. Does that make sense to you guys? Hopefully, if I ever say anything that you're like, wait, what? Put it in the chat and I'll try to clarify. I will clarify. Use your visualization. Use this intangible skill. This is an incredible and powerful skill to create and manifest things in life. A lot of the times when you have these lofty goals, we don't know how to get there. Your visualization helps you to get there, because sometimes you need that intelligence that's responsible for everything that coexists to kick in and drop in the information that you need, or because our visualization is there constantly, it's fine-tuning our focus. And because our focus is fine-tuned, now the billboard that you normally pass every day that you don't even pay attention to because it's just kind of become a part of the background, you start paying attention to it because it has the resource that you're looking for in order to get to your goal. If it has the resource, you feel me? If there's a conversation that's happening across the room, now you're going to be more keen to hearing what's being said if it's in association with the goal you want to achieve, because it's going to take you in the direction of your goal. It fine-tunes your focus. It also leaves you available for that divine intelligence to kick in, download whatever it needs to download into you to help you take the next best step. you know? So use visualization to create. Let me see, what are you guys saying? All right. Come on, phone. Okay. Somebody is asking me about vegan or would I recommend it? I would say create a great support system around you. Also, yes, we absolutely create a great support system around you. I'm living my dream but have negative people around me. Ronnie, you already know what that's doing in your life. Now, if you do have negative people around you, sometimes that's just your environment. It could be a family member, right? It's hard to get from around a family member or a friend or somebody that you live with if it's a roommate. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do to find a new roommate. But that's not to say you got to throw everybody out of your life, right? It's not really conducive maybe to even a healthy life to just get rid of everybody that's negative. If everybody that's negative may be your family, you don't want to get rid of your whole family. But you may need to significantly reduce the time that you spend with them. Significantly reduce the time that you spend around them, listening to what they say, or engaging in the conversations that they engage in, or thinking the way, turning over thoughts with them that are negative. You don't need to do that. You feel me? So manage your space better with them. We don't need to throw them away. I mean, you know what I mean? It could be a mother that's negative. It could be a sister. It could be your child. It could be your spouse. I don't know what you need to do, and you got to trust your gut on that if you need to truly eliminate someone from your life. But that always eliminating somebody is not necessarily the best answer. Sometimes it may be just significantly reducing the time spent with them. Significantly reducing the time that you allow them to influence your thoughts and your behavior. Okay? As far as being vegan, everybody's body is different. But I do think that it is very beneficial, and health is a skill. So I guess we could skip forward to one of the skills I was going to share down the line, being healthy. Because having your health, wow, so many thoughts just kicked in to my brain just now, like, ooh. Having your health is a huge commodity. And sometimes until your health is compromised, do you really realize how important it is? I've mentioned before, when they told me about this melanoma cancerous mole that I had on my body, I immediately kicked into like, what? Healthy gear. I ate probably 75% raw, 25% vegan. I had, I think, sardines and salmon. I would allow myself to have that every once in a while. But my dreams and goals went to the back burner. I still went after them. But what came to the forefront of my responsibility is taking care of myself. What do I need to do to take care of myself? How can I put myself in the best position to be in the healthiest state of being before I go into this surgery to get rid of this thing? And lo and behold, I not only did I work on myself physically, I worked on my mental state of being, I worked on my spiritual state of being. I brought all of my faculties together as best I could so that I could give myself the healthiest state of being before I went into that surgery. And lo and behold, they didn't even find anything further in my tissues. But beyond that, when that happened to me, I realized the luxury of being able to go after a dream. There are people who don't have time, who don't have the mental capacity to go after a dream because they're too busy trying to find food. They're too busy walking miles to get fresh water. So we don't even realize the luxury of being able to chase a dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, it changed my point of view about how health is a commodity. And with the prices of insurance nowadays, I just looked and saw that my insurance went up like over $100 a month. I was like, what is going on? What is really going on? So now more than ever, it is important to have a preventative mindset, possibly, or not even preventative, because preventative kind of puts you in the sense that you're on the defense of something. A proactive mindset about health. You know, how do you make sure that you don't need to go to the doctor if you can't afford to get insurance? It comes from our thinking, right? Your mental state of being, because that's very much a part of your health. And I'll share with you something that happened with me at a naturopathic doctor. Some of you know about it and some of you don't. Very powerful story, though. Your mental state of being, your physical state of being, you know, spiritual, all of these things, put them together, and then you can put yourself in position not to even have to go to the doctor unless it's trauma. You know, where you got to go to the emergency room for something or something like that. So vegan, as a matter of fact, I have a vegan diet at the moment because I want to reduce and eliminate mucus out of my diet. I want to give myself the energy that I need, the mental clarity that I need for my projects that are at hand right now. And I'm just in a increased state of focus and beast mode. And so for me, being in having a vegan diet is beneficial. Will I go back to eating some fish and being a pescatarian? Yes. You know what I mean? These are some things that bring me joy and that I feel still do well for my body. I just think it's important that we pay attention to our bodies. I do think it's important to go out here and learn, get educated about food, what's in it, what's happening with our food industry, what are GMOs, what do they mean to your long-term health? There's a lot of stuff that's out there. It's important to find that stuff out. Look for substitutes of things. You don't have to eat meat for protein. You know what I mean? Like you can find protein in other sources, leafy green vegetables. There's all kinds of different ways you can get protein in your system in another way. You don't need all the protein they say you need. Like it's a lot of myths out there. You know what I mean? To stay in a healthy state of being, get educated. That's one of your greatest tools to, or I was going to say weapons, but you know, one of your greatest tools to being healthy is to get educated. And the way you get educated is you just become a voracious studier. Follow the health nuts, follow the health gurus, and then try stuff out. Detoxing is huge because a lot of times you don't know when the good stuff is coming in when you're so bogged down with the drugs they already got in our system. You know, not only the GMOs, but the fat, the salt, the sugar, all this stuff is drugs. All the processed foods that are on the shelves, the MSG, the things that enhance the flavors, but it's really not food. Get educated and then detox your body and then start adding food back in and see how you feel. And you won't even know the benefit of detoxing until you do it. Sometimes when you finally wipe your slate clean and you get that energy, that burst of energy, and you drop that weight, you drop that tire around your waist, you know what I mean? And you feel the clarity kick in, you'll crave that again. You'll crave it. People wonder how people stay healthy, why they choose foods that are like kind of boring to them. It's like once you get on the other side and you get healthy, you crave it. You don't, right now you're being a slave to your taste buds. But imagine getting on the other side of that and becoming a slave to the energy that you get and that you're able to generate. The clarity, well, I don't even want to say a slave because that may come across as a negative connotation, but just becoming addicted to something on that level. What's your addiction? Once you get on the other side, then you'll understand why health nuts become health nuts. I mean, even me, there are things I grew up on everything, okay, from pig's feet to whatever, okay? I grew up on it all. But once I eliminated some of those things from my diet, put some things back in, fell off the wagon, got back on, fell off the wagon, got back on, went vegan, ain't working, try something else. I just started learning how to listen to my body. I wasn't always successful with my detoxes. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm starving. I'm emaciated. I'm already tiny. I don't need to be losing this much weight. You know what I mean? All the things that come in and tell us, you know, not to do, what to do. Just get educated and then wipe your slate clean and then start adding food back in and see how you feel. And then tailor a diet that fits your body type. And I think that, you know, majority of people do benefit from vegan stuff, but some people need extra things in their diet. I don't know, you know, pay attention to your body. Now, back to that story. Oh my gosh, there's so much that I could say right now. My goodness. Okay, there's so much you guys are saying too. All right. Let me take this charger out because I don't want my phone to get overheated. So check this out. Some of you know this story, some of you don't. Years ago, I went to this naturopathic doctor and I was doing a detox. And so she gave me all these herbs, and she was telling me to take these herbs, and you know, every time I would come back and she would check my blood so we could see how the herbs were doing and what, you know, what my body was telling her. So the first time I went in to her, she used to take a drop of my blood, put it on a petri dish, and slide it under a microscope, and we would take a look at what was happening. So the first time I did it, in a drop of blood, it will amaze you what you will see in a drop of blood, because it's like the microcosm of your macrocosm. You know, it's a small version of the bigger picture. So I saw a parasite swimming around in my blood. I saw, what else did I see? One time I saw heavy metals. I mean, literal heavy metals. I was like, it looks silver. It's crazy. So she puts me on this, she puts me on these herbs. I take the herbs, I come back, I think in a week. She takes a drop of my blood, puts it on a petri dish. We looked, you know, under the microscope, and this time it looks like sludge, right? All the herbs are in there, so it's like obviously moving through my system, and I've got kind of the sludge thing happening. So that was interesting to see. Then I come back the next week, right? And she takes a drop of my blood, looks at it under the microscope, and she says, "What did you do this morning?" And I'm like, and I go through my little motions about the things that I supposedly did. And I finally got around to the fact that I had an argument with my boyfriend that morning. She says, "Come look at your argument." And I'm like, okay, right? I look in the microscope, and it looks like it's these little brown explosions that went off in my blood. And I'm like, she's like, "That's your argument. That was your adrenals firing off." Blew my mind. You want to know why? Because I said, we always hear stress kills, right? But it's another thing to actually see it in your blood. I saw what stress looked like. So then it made me, then common sense kicked in and said, wait a minute. I have been exposed to seeing how animals are treated in these environments that we're eating. Who's checking their blood? Who's checking their blood? And they're kept under constant stress, kicking the chickens around. Cows are waiting in line, watching their counterparts be killed. You hear moaning and groaning off in the distance. I mean, these animals are psychologically traumatized. They're physically traumatized. There's literal abuse going on some of these farms. Whoa! I was like, yo, that's deep. So, you know, speaking of health, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on, you guys. Tony said, yes, we're eating stress. It is so deep, right? This is, you know, go check it out for yourself. So just putting two and two together and thinking out, you know, outside of what we're programmed to think, it can help us to make better decisions for ourselves. So health is a huge commodity. Get out there, expose yourself to the information, even the stuff you don't want to hear, because at least you know. You know what I mean? And especially if you don't have insurance out in these streets. Get yourself educated. There's a wealth of energy, vitality, clarity on the other side of these choices that are so difficult to make. The healthier choices that you feel are so difficult to make. And once you give yourself the gift of these things, I don't think it'll be as difficult as you think it would be to go back and keep, you know, chipping away at becoming healthier and healthier, because there is great reward on the other side of this kind of discipline. Okay? All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Wow. I swear sometimes I don't know where our conversations are going to go. Beast mode every day. No days off. I've been getting it in, Tiffany. Need to appreciate the luxury of being able to go after a dream. Church. You have to do what makes you happy. Sometimes that means cutting people out of your life. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it requires just reducing the time spent with those people. Okay? I am on it. Great. Getting motivated, loving this, know some of these principles, and now being reminded of them. But in order for it to work, organize and execute. Absolutely. We got to practice, practice, practice. Great answer on my vegan question. Love the details. You're welcome, Low Base. Thank you for the question. Let's see. Tony, I'm so glad to see you in the conversation. Right for the yikes. You're Jorday. Where was this? This was back in the day, girl. I don't even know if that place, I don't even think that place is still there. Skin tone is magnificent. Thank you, Jay. Love this story. Love flame. Okay, so we've been talking about tools, life skills. to keep momentum in your life. And just went off on a tangent right there with the health skill. Health is huge though, right? And I shared with you my story about the melanomas, cancerous mole that got removed, and just how my mindset shifted from, hey, I'm chasing my dreams, to, oh my gosh, get your body together or you ain't chasing nothing. Get your life together or what will you be chasing? Health is a luxury. It's a commodity. We also talked about the animals and the meat and foods that we eat and the stress that they're possibly under and what that could mean to that meat. And are you really getting the protein out of that? Are you really getting vitality out of death? Giving death to life. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes if we just think about it a little bit, it changes things. It's not to say you got to cut all this stuff out of your life. Do what is good for you. Pay attention to your body. But you hear the information. Make the best decisions for you. Right? Okay. What are you guys saying before I move on to the next tip? Oh, thank you, Aisha. Thank you. Yeah, that story's deep. How did it take you? How did it take you to stay off meat? How long did it take? I'm not sure what you mean, Carrington. I think I know how long. Okay. I would hear this on my first day of relaunching your fast. Hey, now, cancer survivor here. Beautiful, Michelle. Completely changed my whole way of thinking, doesn't it? About health and life. Yes. Man, when I tell you when your health gets compromised, honey, changes everything. Okay, then you start understanding, especially as people mature, and you said, what are the top 3 things maybe, that you feel are most important in life? They probably get to family, they probably get to something else, and usually health is somewhere in the top 3. Some people say health first. They say God, family, and health. You know what I mean? Those are like huge. Because if you're not healthy to go after something, it can affect every aspect of your life, relationship, career. Right? Okay. Conversation, your interpersonal skills is another great skill to develop. Someone asked me yesterday, what should she do about public speaking? Or no, I'm sorry. No, she did ask about public speaking, but in connection with that, just with engaging with other people. Because she was very bashful about, connecting with other people and, how to do that and not feel all uncomfortable, or how to engage herself in a moment. You know what I mean? And you know what I told her? Be more interested in the person in front of you than you are with having something to say about yourself, about anything. Ask good questions. That's a great interpersonal skill. Ask good questions. Who are they? What do they like? What are they interested in? Where do they go for joy or peace or serenity, solitude? What makes them as successful as they are? What was the last book they read? And what was the most profound thing they got from the book? Be more interested in the thing that's in front of you, the person that's in front of you. Ask questions that unearth what's in them, and then that just naturally can start great conversation. Next thing you know, you're having a great exchange. You're building great rapport. You're expanding your social circle. You know what I mean? Who doesn't like to talk about themselves? A lot of people like to talk about themselves anyway. So if you're one of those people that has that, that's a great way to break the ice. And if you're a great conversationalist, now you can start fine-tuning your skill to connect with other human beings. And be sincere. Be sincere about your inquiry. Be sincere about asking them who they are, how they flow, what brings them joy, how they operate the way they do. Whatever those things are, I don't know what the moment is, but it's a great conversation skill, interpersonal skill. What other note did I write down? Utilizing humor, yes. I love an intention-filled life, right? Who's been using their 3 words we talked about a few weeks ago? Bringing specific intentions into a moment can inspire behavior. It can inspire the language you use. I don't even think my overall 3 words is endurance, excellence, and compassion. If I were to set an intention right now, it's to, I was going to say teach, but it is a deeper, more layered word than that. To convey, to definitely have compassion. That's an intention. for this conversation. To inform, right? That's an intention right now. And if I were to pick another one, I like to have fun with you guys. We don't want to keep this too heavy. So just to lift, to uplift. That's an intention. Now, can you imagine if you think about this? It's so bright I can't even see you guys anymore, so I hope you can see me. But can you imagine if you walk into any situation and you bring specific intentions, how that could inspire the language that you use, the behaviors that you operate in, the patterns that you operate in, all of that stuff. These are great interpersonal skills, and this is a great way to increase your ability to communicate and to connect with others. This is a great way to keep momentum in your life, to expand your social circle. What do you guys think about all this stuff? Are we going in the right direction for you this morning? This morning, yes, use humor, overcome shyness, do it all the time. Beautiful, Shanika. Okay, next tip. We've been going for a second too. I don't even know what time it is. Research. Study. We talked about it with the health thing, but this is across the board. Anything you want to know more about, study it, study it, study it. Who's operating at the top of their field in what you're interested in? Go find them and let it teach you. Let it mentor you. Research so you can get more confidence. The more you know, the more your confidence can grow. Research and study whatever it is. Develop the skills you need in order to go to the next level. Take the time out. Be dedicated. Go hard in the paint. Because the only person that's going to be taking inventory for you at the end of the day is you. And if you don't do the work, you didn't do the work. It's not life that's handing you a bucket of whatever. It's you that's not doing the work. Right? Okay, let's see. Jennifer's here. Welcome to the conversation. Okay, the skill of compassion. This is a good skill to keep lifelong momentum. The skill of kindness. This is something we got to practice because there's a lot of cynicism in the world. There's a lot of negative, pessimistic, points of view. If you turn on the news, good luck. Right? It's like seriously 80-20 rule, probably like 80% negative, maybe some 20% positive sprinkled throughout. It's the 80-20 rule flipped on its head. Practicing compassion keeps you open. Keeps you open to learn from somebody else. Keeps you out of the judgment zone. Or if you're going to judge it, at least go default to the empowered perspective. Default to what way you can connect with that person. What way you can share some sympathy or empathy for their situation. It's a great skill. Great skill. Welcome to the conversation, everybody. Competence leads to confidence. I like that. Welcome to the conversation. Morning Talks with Ro. Practicing kindness. Practicing compassion. Practicing empathy. It's a really, really good way to stay connected organically to other people. It's an empowering trait. Hey, Richie. Empowering trait. And if you like to be likable, it probably will make you likable. And it just helps you grow. The more that you choose to understand somebody else's plight, it connects you to more people. Where can you find common ground with people? It's a very powerful skill. Hey, Everett. Okay, let's get through the rest of this list. Another skill to keep momentum in your life. Stay creative. Do fresh things with old stuff. Try a fresh approach to something you're used to doing on a regular basis. Study in a place you don't normally study in. Take up a cooking class. Go to a salsa dancing class. How can you creatively approach your life? How can you do something different with something you're used to? Right? Think about that in every aspect of what you do and how you operate on a regular basis. What can you do? How can you approach it from a fresh perspective? Stay creative. Great skill for keeping momentum in your life. What's another skill? Of course, being productive. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Morning Talks with Ro. How about that? Let's see, you agree you must practice kindness. Yes. Productivity. How many of you are really productive, or are you really busy? Are you moving the needle of progress? One of the things that I'm doing right now for my productivity in particular, I have a few goals ahead of me. I'm writing a book. I have a new program I'm developing for Personal Power University. And of course, I have my music, that I do. So how am I managing this stuff? For a long time, I would always hear, focus on one thing at a time. Focus on one thing at a time. And I got the concept, but I was like, dang, but I got this I want to do. I got that. I will multitask. And not until I went on my trip last year, when my partner and I decided to do a writing retreat in Florence, Italy, we said, man, we are not getting the momentum we need on this book right now, and I'm ready to move the needle of progress. Let's do a writing retreat. Let's just go somewhere and focus only on writing. I covered more ground in 4 days than I did in months. Months. And then it dawned on me. I said, I get it. It doesn't mean that I dropped the ball on my other stuff. I still came back home and started working on my other stuff, but I took a block of time, I took a chunk of time, and I dedicated it specifically to writing my book. And I covered more ground in 4 days than I probably did in 4 months. Just from focus. More productivity. Right now, I'm developing my program. I said, okay, I just did a writing retreat for my book. I did a chunk for that. I covered a lot of ground. Okay, put that down. Now, I'm about to focus my 11 weeks on 11 modules. Now, normally I would go, okay, I'm going to focus on that, and then I'm going to come back and write my book. No. I get it now. So now we got the book. We just did a chunk of that, and I'm going to come back and do a chunk of that after I do my 11 weeks to get this program out of me. You feel me? Focus. Hope that bless somebody today, baby. Shout out to Bendu. Somebody put Bendu's name in there. That's right. Huge skill for creating and keeping momentum in your life. Be honest with yourself and be honest with other people. Let me see what I wrote down here. Your thoughts, your desires. Are you being honest about what you really want in life, or are you living based off of other people's approval of what you do? Are you living life for somebody else's expectations? Or are you being honest? Does it scare you to be honest? Does it feel impractical for you to be honest? Are you being honest with who you are? Are you bringing your authentic self to life? And if you're not, it's okay. But do you want to find her? Do you want to find him? Because that's where the magic is. The more that we can uncover who we really are, more of why we're here in this moment right now with all our stuff, the magic can come together in that. Even if you've been living for other people's up to today. Once you take the lid off of and reveal who you really are, there's a whole other something that's going to come together and be the magic of why you're here in this moment right now. But if you're not being honest, are you really living a fulfilled life? If you're afraid of honesty, self-honesty, self-authenticity, are you willing to do the work to get to it? Because that's where the magic is. And sometimes some of us are afraid to say some things. It's normal, okay? And not be approved of, but that's part of life. And the more that we can embrace that, the stronger we get, the more magical we become. The more we get to show up as who we really are and why we're really here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the conversation. Let me see the other notes I put next to honesty. People might not like everything you say or do, but that's healthy. Hello. It's going to stretch us. That's one of the things I think that we suffer from a bit in today's world, is that we've just become like, because of social media, it's like this mob mentality. You get a strong enough personality in a space, everybody goes with that strong enough personality, even if it doesn't necessarily resonate with who you really are. If you have an opinion, you're afraid to share it because you don't know, or if you don't believe in what's in front of you, but you're afraid to own that, then you're really not showing up as who you really are. And life is not as fulfilling as it could be for you. So are you being honest? And if you're not, are you willing to do the work to get to more of your honesty, more of your authenticity? It's such powerful work, you guys. Such powerful work. And I'm not being unrealistic in this conversation. I know it's difficult for some, especially if you've been doing it for a long time that way. Especially if you've been living for other people's approval. Ooh! And all of us in some way, shape, are. Normally. A lot of people are. Very few people aren't. But to what degree are you living for other people's approval? Only you can be honest about that. And know that if it's stifling your growth, you know, and your possibilities, that's a tough one because of the people's judgment. Yeah, but you know what? Whatever. Follow other people who seem to not give a care. How do they do it? What's their mindset? Gary Vaynerchuk is a great one for that. He just like, he be cursing him. He like, screw him. What are they doing for me? I got to show up and be all of who I am so that all of what he is gets to be the magic that he is. He's incredibly successful because of that. Gary Vaynerchuk. Anybody miss that name? Go follow him, man. It's a great example of just showing up and being your authentic self. And not giving up, flying you know what, if somebody don't agree with you. Let's see, what are you guys saying? You're a people pleaser in recovery, church. I wonder how you juggled your music and had time for PPU, time management and multitasking. I got to do that so I can get my house clean. Still not clean. Doreen, you know, sometimes, I'm glad you said that, hon. Sometimes we got to know what our strengths are. And you just started a business example, right? For example, right? I have a lot of things on my plate. As clean as I want my house, it is not always as clean as I want it to be. And guess what I need to do if I can afford to do it? Hire somebody to come in and clean it. If you need to do that. Or, yes, schedule time to do it. But sometimes we only have so many decisions, so many quality decisions that we can make in a day, especially if your plate is full. So sometimes we got to prioritize where do I want to spend those few quality decisions that I'm going to make every day. And if you can afford to employ somebody else, because everybody's winning, and you know, if you are able to hire somebody to come in and clean up, they get to benefit and feed their family. You get to spend that quality, all those decisions you would have made and been making trying to organize your house. You can now take those quality decisions and put them towards your business, put them towards your family, put them towards your relationship. We got to prioritize. So yes, time management and prioritizing, what's really important, is huge and key. Okay, let's see. Awesome, everybody. Awesome. Okay, last tip and skill that I'm going to share with you guys for keeping momentum in your life. Gratitude. You know how big I am on gratitude. Gratitude is an extremely high vibration to operate in on a regular basis. Gratitude can be used everywhere you go. It doesn't have to just be something that you're saying thank you for on a regular basis. You can use sincere appreciation. Take gratitude wherever you go. What can you find in someone else that you can sincerely appreciate and bring to their attention? What would that mean to your environment? What can you find about what's in front of you in general and be grateful for? This is an extremely high vibration to operate in. The more you can do it, the more you're changing the trajectory of what you're sending out and what you're bringing in. Gratitude is a skill. Practice it. Live in it constantly. Start your day with it. Move throughout your day with it. The way I even pray or speak to the Most High, I do it through gratitude. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Thank you for the things that's here. Thank you for that thing that's coming. Huge vibration. Beautiful vibration to operate in. Very, very high vibration. And if you believe in the law of attraction, you're going to start bringing in things at a higher vibrational level that resonate with gratitude. What are you guys saying before I get out of here? Okay, you guys, thank you for, yes. Do you want to say anything to me before I get out of here? Today we had an interesting talk, like usual, right? Tackled a lot of stuff, covered a lot of ground. There's a very deep definition of gratitude. Yeah, man. Because gratitude can go beyond the surface. Gratitude is also sincere appreciation. And using that in your environment. How powerful is that? Not shallow flattery. People can pick up on that. Sincere appreciation. What can you find genuinely about somebody else that you can bring to their attention? And what would that mean to your relationship if you did that on a regular basis? Not shallow flattery, sincere appreciation. What kind of energy would that infuse in the moment, in them? What kind of connection would that deepen for your relationship? Co-worker, spouse, friend, stranger? Powerful stuff, man. Gratitude is a very wonderful thing. Love and gratitude to you always. Thank you, Tiffany. Thanks for tuning in, babe. I'm grateful for you guys, too. Okay. I'm sending love out. I'm glad that you guys were able to tune in. It's always so interesting. Thank you, Marcus. It's always so interesting where our conversations end up going. I mean, I might have an idea of what I want to talk about, but I never know what's going to come up and out of me and what's going to come out of you guys to inspire a stretching of our perspective together. You're welcome. I'm glad they do, Shias. I'm glad you guys are getting value from them. And can you do me a favor? Send me feedback. You guys, drop into my inbox. Let me know what you think about some of the talks. Let me know about some of the ways you think I might be able to improve how I connect with you. I'm open. I'll take the feedback. I'm always looking for the next way I can fine-tune how I'm doing or what I'm doing. That's the champion in me. All right, I'm sending love out. Have a great day today, you guys.